sussing out your luck. Going hard in the paint. And that's how you assert dominance.
This is low-key going to be my deck in the New Balances, bro. It's going to be sick. The way I thought about this deck is you have Tombstone and you have Dark Goblin. Those are going to be your log bait along with the Goblin Barrel. And a lot of people are going to be running Lightning. So if you run Tesla, if you run Inferno Tower, you're going to get shreked by Lightning. But if they go Lightning and Tombstone, what is that going to do for them? Skeletons are still going to be there. And then they have to deal with the skeletons, right? You have Knight, and then you also have Miner on defense. You can use Miner on defense to distract a Baby Dragon. Then you use Minion Horde to kill the Baby Dragon and anything else that they have. So essentially this deck is pretty strong. I think that this is probably going to be in my new update deck. Miner Poison with Dark Goblin and just abusing Tombstone. Obviously, Knight and Dark Goblin got a pretty big buff. Dark Goblin going to be so OP since it's going to two-shot minions. Alright guys, so we got a game against Nair, and I'm going to be saucing out the Dark Goblin in the same lane as this Princess. I'm also going to go in for a Miner right on top of the Princess, see if we can assassinate her silently. And we're doing so well right now. Actually, as soon as I said that, we did not assassinate the Princess. So we are not doing so well. We are not thriving in our element at the moment. I'm going to actually have to go in for a Knight, and yeah, so fortunately, I do have Log, and we're going to be able to kill the Goblins with the Log, and then the Princess should not end up hitting my tower. Thankfully, the Knight decided not to go too close to the tower. He's a true sir. He sacrificed himself for the greater good. He just took all the hits without even caring. And he's going to go drop an Electro Wizard. So he's got Electro Wizard, he's got Princess. Very interesting deck. I haven't seen very many decks like this. Princess will die to the poison. Unfortunately, the Electro Wizard will have to walk up, and then he'll get greeted by skeletons. The little Larrys will be sacrificed for the greater good as well. We're going to go in for a Miner with the skeletons from the Tombstone. That's a very underrated play, but it's actually really awesome if you're able to get some of the skeletons on top of the tower. Made him drop a Goblin Gang, and now I'm just going to go in for a Knight. The Knight is going to be such a tank today, guys. He tried to go in for an off-center Goblin Barrel. I guess it did work out. He does get one stab off. I didn't think it was going to be that far back. I thought it was like off to the side, and really, I don't know, I thought it was up close too. So well played by him. He did juke me a little bit, but we're still bouncing through. He's going to go in for he went in for a Princess. We're just going to throttle it with a Minion Horde, and then we're going to go in for a Miner. Usually when they're running this type of deck with Ewiz and Princess, they're going to have Log, and they won't have a great answer to the minions. So if we get a few minion hits, that would be really nice for me. So well played by him. He outcycled me. I'm going to go in for a Knight in the opposite side. I'm going to go like left side because the outer corner Goblin is always targeted first by the tower. So on this side, this Goblin gets targeted first. On the other side, it's right there. So it's the most outer Goblin that always gets targeted first by your tower. So he's going to go in for an Electro. We're going to poison it. I think the Princess actually goes into the poison as well, and that's really nice for me. I'm going to go in for another Tombstone, and this time we're going to have Log and Cycle. So there's no way that he's going to get extra damage on us. I'm going to go in for a Dark Goblin. I'm going to go in for a Miner as well. I want to see if I can get some damage. We actually bait out a Log, so he does have Log. I was correct. He's going to have Electro Wizard. He's going to have Princess, and he's going to have Ice Spirit. So he's going to have a lot of answers to our Miner Minion Horde, but I guess he's dropping them kind of haphazardly there. He doesn't have them both in cycle. And now I'm going to go in for my own Minion Horde. I'm going to go in for the Goblin Barrel. We're going to bait out a Log. And after, oh, I guess he just didn't want to Log. I was going to say, we're going to spread him so thin. He's got poison, but he's getting finessed, man. Wow, we did so much damage there. So what I want to do is I want to go in for a Log. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to go in for a Goblin Barrel, but as long as we clean up the Goblins really quickly, we won't have an issue. Tombstone should be tanking. The Dark Goblin does finish off the majority of the Goblins, and now we're in a situation where our Goblin Barrel isn't going to do too much damage, but we've identified that he doesn't really have a great way of dealing with our Minor Poison. Well, there's the P.E.K.K.A. That is an answer to our Minor Poison, but I really like that there's two win conditions in this deck. If you can't break through with a Goblin Barrel, you're going to win against every single like Zap deck, right? Because Goblin Barrel, they don't have a great answer to it. If they do have Log, then you have an alternative way of getting damage, and that's going to be Minor Poison. Minor Poison does a crap ton of damage, and it's always worthwhile. So I just need to get one Minor hit, and then go in for a Poison and cop the W. Poison does 216, and a Minor hit is 64 damage, so that's well within range. Good game, well played, and good luck. If the Miner did not get a hit, I was just going to sauce out another Log, and I was going to cop the W that way. Alright guys, so we got a game against Eduardo. We started off the game with a Goblin Barrel, and this man is about to bridge spam me pretty vigorously. I'm going to go in for a Knight just to make sure that the Barbarians go towards that. The Dark Goblin is going to be approaching the right-hand lane, and it will give me a lot of chip damage as well. So going against a bridge spam deck, we have Tombstone, we have Goblin Barrel, we have Knight, we have Minion Horde, we have so many answers to him. So especially having the Tombstone and then the Minion Horde, it's really solid. I don't know how he's going to combat that, and he actually pumps up. So this is probably going to be a bridge spam 3 Musketeer deck. It's not going to be a pure bridge spam deck. So I'm going to go in for the miner first, delay the poison, and then drop the poison shortly after. So that was a prediction poison, a little bit delayed. I didn't want to drop it instantaneously because some people don't have great reactions and it takes them a little bit of time to drop the Goblin Gang. So we ended up hitting everything, and he's actually going to have Giant. So he's going to have Giant 3 Musketeers with Bridge Spam. This is going to be a little bit difficult for me to deal with, but hopefully we can pull out the W. I assume since we just used our poison, right, he's probably going to drop his 3 Musketeers all in one lane. I want to apply a little bit of pressure opposite lane with the Dark Goblin, and then also drop my Knight, and then I want him to think about having to defend this. So if this works out, then it would be really nice for me. Oh man, the Dark Goblin actually died first. That is really bad. I did not play that optimally at all. I'm actually going to have to log this back, I assume. Otherwise, I think that the Musketeer does win, and that was really, really close. If the Musketeer survived, then it would have DPS down the minions, and then, oh man, the Muskie locking on our tower would have just been horrendous, completely disastrous. So in this situation, what I want to do is I want to go in for the Goblin Barrel, and then I want to go in for the Miner. If the Goblin Barrel baits out the Goblin Gang, then he has nothing to defend the Miner, because this 3 Musketeer deck, the only ground defense that they have is the Goblin Gang. So the Goblin Gang, since he doesn't have Log, he has Zap, right? He really has to use the Goblin Gang to support his tower, so then he doesn't just lose his entire tower and so much damage. So I really thought about that. I identified his cards, and that's one of the biggest things. One of the things that you guys consistently ask me, Jake, what do I have to do to improve at this game? One of the biggest things that you gotta do is identify their deck and see what you can actually do in your deck to take advantage of their weakness. And that was their huge weakness there, and I abused it. So feels bad, man. I'm just going to go in for a Knight right on top of the Musketeer, and then I'm going to go in for a Miner on offense. I'm going to get ready with the poison. I assume he's going to drop Goblin Gang relatively soon. No, he goes in for the Minion Horde. That is poison value. Despite him having 3 Musketeers, I feel like I can just cop this W with the Goblin Barrel right here, going for a pre-log because we know he's Goblin Gang in cycle, and he's just going to take an L right now. So good game, well played, and good luck. I completely abused this card cycle. I knew that he was going to go in for Goblin Gang. Alright guys, so we had a game against someone from Japan, so we're going to be saucing out the Tombstone as our starting play, and he's going to go Collector up. So unfortunately, he's going to have a pretty big advantage, but I want to time it so I can have some skeletons with my Miner, so maybe the little Larry can touch his tower. That is our simple goal in life. I'm going to go poison that. We're going to end up hitting the Prince, and after seeing Prince with Elixir Collector, it is most certainly going to be a Golem deck. There is no other deck that he could be running. I mean, it could be Giant, but it would be a very bad Giant deck. So he's probably going to have Golem double Prince. He's actually going to have Baby Dragon as well. So definitely going to be a kind of a difficult matchup, but it shouldn't be too bad. As long as I go in for my Knight right on top, and that's going to distract the Baby Dragon, allowing my Dark Goblin to finish it off. Also, it made sure that the Prince did not get a charge off on top of my tower, nor did it get a charge off onto the Knight as well. So worked out rather nicely. And the Dark Goblin's doing a lot of damage, but it still ended up dying to the Mega Minion. I'm going to go in for a Tombstone. He went for a Zap to cycle. I guess he probably is going to have NATO as well. And what I want to do here is I want to go in for a Miner. I want to go in for the Barrel. I should have dropped the Barrel first before dropping the Miner. I don't know why I did that, but he's going to go drop a Dark Prince. I'm going to go in for a Poison. We're going to encapsulate the Tower, the Dark Prince, and the Collector. So this is working out beautifully for me at the start. His Dark Prince will be barreling towards the Skeletons, and I know that I got to kind of save my Tombstone and cycle, but the Dark Prince will end up dying to the Tombstone, and I don't want to allocate any more Elixir towards that. So I'm going to go cycle the Knight in the back as soon as I hit 10 Elixir, and then I'm going to get ready with my Tombstone. Notice where I drop my Tombstone. Tombstone's going to be opposite lane. This will end up pulling the Golem, and despite it actually not having Skeletons going towards the Golem, this is the most optimal placement. So now I can go and drop my Dark Goblin off to the side. If he poisons, he's not going to be able to hit everything. I'm actually going to go in for my Minion Horde, and notice how the Baby Dragon is so far away from the Minion Horde. A lot of times you can entice people to go and drop their Baby Dragon there, and then the Baby Dragon doesn't get the value that it's supposed to. Also, I really should have dropped the Miner like on this side of the map, so then the Baby Dragon would have actually targeted that. That would have been a really kick-ass play. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to make that happen. That was definitely the best play, the most optimal maneuver, but I guess we live and learn here. So if you can drop the Miner in a spot that they're not going to NATO, it's always worth it. I'm going to go in for a Log just to bounce back the Prince so the Prince doesn't charge off on my tower. And this deck just throttles Golem every single time if you're able to outmaneuver them. You just got to do that Tombstone placement, and then the only other thing I would have cleaned up in this game is dropping the Miner on the opposite side. So then he would have missed the NATO, and then the Baby Dragon would have been targeting that, but all the units that he clumped up really wouldn't have mattered. I'm going to go in for another Dark Goblin. I'm going to go in for a Knight. I'm going to go in for... Okay, that wasn't supposed to be a Log. That was a Chief Pat Log and a half. I'm just going to go in for a Skill Horde, and it's not going to matter now. So just going to go in for another Tombstone to make sure that the Dark Prince never makes his way towards our tower. I don't really understand what that Log is, but let's just go sauce out a Poison to make another celebration on the middle of the map. Good game, well played, and good luck, sir. Alright guys, so we got another game. I'm going to be saucing out the knight in the back and we're going to see what he wants to do. So the ball is in his court. Okay, he's going to drop it in for its tower. So this is probably a control deck. I'm going to go for a miner in the back corner and we're going to see what he wants to do. He's probably going to go drop like an electro wizard. Nope. Okay, so he's going to have a log bait variation. I'm going to go in for a poison. That's going to hit the Inferno Tower, the minion horde, and the tower. And I'm very confident that we're going to have a deck advantage in this matchup. Because we have miner poison. If he just has a log bait deck, we're not going to have any issues. The one thing that could be a predicament is if he goes in for minion horde, he zaps our minion horde and then miners the tower. That's something that if you don't have your poison in cycle, you could also always face the ramifications of that. So that was something I was a little bit scared of, but he's going to have Inferno Tower with the golem deck. So I don't really know if this guy knows what he's doing, but he's kind of wild. Okay, so I can see why matchmaking matched me with him. He's got arrows for the minion horde. Thankfully, we did not drop minion horde there. He actually, oh my gosh, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. He's going to have Harry Potter. He's going to have arrows. So this is going to be a very difficult matchup, especially if he has Zap. I have to utilize, wow, he's going to have both Harry Potters. I had to utilize my miner on defense just to make sure that we finesse the Harry Potter. And then he drops an Electro Wizard right at the river. So he doesn't have his arrows in cycle. I'm really thinking about how I want to circumvent all of his counters to me. And the one thing that I'm not scared about at all is the Inferno Tower. I am, however, really scared about him starting to really monstrous push and then like getting a lot of utility out of his Harry Potter. So I'm going to go in for the tombstone in the back. I'm just getting ready because I assume he's going to drop his golem in the lane that he has the most damage on me. And then I'm going to also cycle my knight in the back. I'm cycling my knight in the back really early on because I want to get back to another one. Also, facilitating a knight in the back allows me to go drop my faster unit, the Dark Goblin, and it'll catch up to it. So essentially slow rolling a Dark Goblin plus Knight push is always a pretty good play. Sometimes they'll log it and you can get some good value out of that. I'm going to go for a Minion Horde Miner push. That's probably not the best idea because I kind of forgot that he had Harry Potter. He also has arrows, so that was not a good play at all, guys. So something that I just realized. However, I'm going to go in for a Tombstone. I'm going to have to poison that, and then I could also log that back, but I'm not too scared about it. I can just go in for a Knight right on top, and I think that's a little bit more value. He's also going to have E-Barb, so this guy's a true sir. I'm going to go log everything back. I'm going to go drop a Tombstone, and we're going to be thriving just cycling back to another poison. Not too big of a deal. We're just going to capture this dub. I assume he's probably going to arrow that. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. No, so he goes in for his Inferno Tower. So what I want to do here is I want to go for the Goblin Barrel, then I want to go for the Miner. The Goblin Barrel will still be tanked for by the Miner, and then he goes in for the arrows. He had to go in for the arrows there. Now I have free reign to go in for my Minion Horde if I so desire. I'm just going to go in for a Dark Goblin in the back. I'm going to go in for a Knight, and I just got to go in for a couple Minor Poison cycles, and that's going to be all she wrote. If I get back to another Minor Poison, we cop the W. And I assume he's going to go drop... yeah, he's not going to be back to arrows in time. It's not even going to matter. Good game, well played, and good luck, bro. Our cycle was way faster than his. His was a crazy elixir cycle. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's video. I can't wait to see how good this deck is after the balance changes. This is recorded before the balance changes, and Dark Goblin and Knight are going to get a significant buff. Lightning will be increasingly prevalent, and there are no good lightning targets in this deck. Be sure to check out RoyaleAPI.com for all the latest and greatest new meta decks just like this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, sauce me a fat thumbs up and let me know down below in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for chilling with me, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace out.